Still scoring like Mo Salah, but you won't see me on the wing. Oh, that's your girl I didn't know, brother. She was really trying to get it in. She was trying to give me blows, whoa, I didn't even say a thing. I don't force girls, I get girl force. Shorty blowing like the wind. Still winning, man, I can't lose. Had to hit him with a part two. Pretty girls, let me touch it. You got no touch, LUKAKU. I finesse it, ain't hard to. I just R1 and then R2. I could run through if I want to. Like a through ball, I just pass.
Alright guys, welcome back to Relegation Battle. We've got a few days into the European action now, after leagues have all ended. So let's get straight into it. Jack, we'll start with Europa League before we get Champions League. United, after a bit of a not shaky game, but one that you didn't expect to go to extra time against Copenhagen. What do you think of the performance in the end?
I mean, in the end, it wasn't too bad. We started off very slow, very shaky, like you said. They didn't have a shot on target, yes, but caused us not many, but a few problems that I didn't expect. Like I said, we didn't start off well, but as the game grew on, we created loads of chances. We hit the post about 3 times. Keeper had like a worldie, made 13 saves. But knock out one game, it's not about the performance really, it's about the result.
Yeah, you've got Sevilla in the next round now. They just knocked out Wolves in the 80th minute winner. Jimenez missed a penalty as well, which has been crucial now. How do you feel about that?
I'm excited. I'm a bit like want Wolves because if we would have played them, that would be the 8th time in 2 seasons. So like Ollie have been saying, we literally know everything about them.
Yeah.
Whereas Sevilla, obviously they'll do their research, but they could change. But Wolves play the same every time. And I mean, back in, I want to say 17-18 season, we played them and we lost under Jose Mourinho. When on the bench was Rashford, Martial and Pogba. So you could, listening by that, you can tell how that went down with the fans. So we're all looking for revenge on Sunday.
Yeah. Tom, on the other half, Inter Milan through. They're looking strong. Lukaku is still carrying on his form. They've got Shakhtar in the semis, but do you back them to win the whole thing?
Well, I said it from day one, even when the group stages, I could see Man United and an Inter Milan final, and it looks like it's probably going to happen. I mean, they're going to the final. We don't know if Man United is going to the final yet, but you would expect so. But I think it's fair to say Inter will be in the final unless they completely do something stupid and bottle it. I think they got a good chance of beating Man United just because they're like Wolves. I thought Seville would have been will be an easier game for Man United. Jack says Man United will know more about them, yes, but the way that Man United tactically play, I think it will suit them more against Seville because they'll be more open, whereas Wolves will be a little bit harder to break down as they sit back. They're more tight, and that's exactly like how Inter set up pretty well defensively. So I think it'll be interesting if it's a Man United Inter final, but yeah, I still think Man United will win it.
Well, Jack, Inter have a few ex-United players. Got Lukaku is scoring goals, breaking a few records. Sanchez now on a permanent deal. Ashley Young there too. Could you see those 3 players almost being a bit, say if you do make a foul against them, those 3 players just working a little bit harder just to prove almost the United fans or coaches wrong?
I can see that in Sanchez and Lukaku. People can say Ashley Young, but I think the amount of times he was here, I know he got like a few of the fans got on his back towards the last season, 2 seasons of him being here, but I just don't feel like, obviously he would want to win because he plays for Inter, but I think especially Lukaku and Sanchez, they'll just have that little bit extra to show like that was just a one-off the Man United thing. I'm still very good.
Yeah, well, I believe everything will be done in next week in Europa, but definitely interesting. Then Champions League quarterfinals start tomorrow. So we've got PSG versus Atlanta, Barca versus Bayern, Leipzig versus
Atletico Madrid.
That's it. And then Lyon versus Man City. Tom, we'll start with you. Before we go to like each game individually, who are you backing right now in the last 8?
Whoever wins that Barcelona Bayern game, I think Bayern will beat them. So I think Bayern I don't know who the favourites are. People keep saying Man City. I can't see them winning it. I honestly can't.
Yeah.
I just think they're too bad at bat. And Bayern they're tactically set up. Defensively, they're quite decent. And I think they're the best team on the ball in the world right now. Like, playing wise, I think they're the best on the ball. So I think Bayern, if I had to pick, I'd put Bayern.
Jack, what about you?
I do agree with Tom, as in I think Bayern will beat Barca. However, it's a one-off tie, no two-legged. You can never bet against Messi coming up with 2 games in a row of just spectacular play. I mean, one-off game, he could just do something special that will win in the game in the 90th minute. I know, obviously, Bayern have brilliant players, but Messi's just on another level. So, like I said, I do think Bayern will win, but you just don't know with Messi and Barcelona.
They have someone called Lewandowski.
Yes, but he's a top quality striker, probably best in the
No,
world.
he's the
But
best
Messi's
striker.
Messi's just Messi. Messi's not
Yeah.
not even from this world. So
Yeah,
I
we'll
get
start with
that.
this
That's what I
game
think.
then. But so it essentially is Lewandowski's got 53 goals this season, which is unbelievable. Loads of people saying he's been robbed of a Ballon d'Or, which is, I think, can say that.
I think so.
But at the same time, Messi, 46 goal contributions in the league alone. He put up a great game against Napoli, which the Barcelona defense has been a bit shaky this season. So I think over 2 legs, we can all agree Bayern would have probably taken it quite easily. But like I said, Jack, the 1 leg thing, is it a matter of whose defense is worse on that day? Because both attacks seem fairly strong.
Yeah, I think also watching Bayern against who
Chelsea.
did they just play? Chelsea. They play so high.
Yeah.
They play so high, and I just think with Barcelona, I think they could just. I know they don't have Messi, but I think they could exploit that space behind. If they because Bayern like to keep the ball and like patient with their build up. Same with Barca, but if Bayern, if Barca catch them just making a mistake and they can press them high, they can cause them real problems.
Yeah, but Barca don't sit back, Jack.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they're
what
just
you
going to sit
just said
back.
about Barca, Bayern could do the same to them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but what you're saying is...
I
Yeah,
know
go on,
what
go
you're
on.
saying, but Bayern can do the exact same. I'd understand if you were talking more about a counter-attacking team. But the thing
No,
is,
I'm not saying.
I think Barca are going to be more open.
No, yeah, I think that too because, like Joel said, their defense has been shaky this season, and looking at on paper, their defense probably is better. It's just I know both with Barcelona and Bayern, they just push their fullback so high,
Mm.
and they're both very good at possession. So I just think it's going to be so end to end.
Yeah, that's the thing. I agree with the counter-attacking point. Because both, like I said, they build up so slowly that each team will slowly just retreat backwards. But for me, Bayern have the Gnabry, even Lewandowski is not the slowest, he's not the fastest, but not exactly slow. And you've got, who is it, Perisic, who's all right. But for me, I said this earlier, for me, Luis Suarez is not the same player he was a few seasons ago. I think he's slowing down, in my opinion.
Yeah,
And
he is.
slowly, I think he's turning into Higuain. Because he's not... If you watch them play now, Messi's struggling to play with Suarez.
He's sluggish.
Yeah, he's not as mobile as he was.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me just try this. Yeah, like you say, he's a bit sluggish now. So for me, if Barca really want to do well, they're going to have to play Griezmann through the middle and Ansu Fati on the left to really try to exploit that Bayern defense, because they've got Alaba and Boateng at centre back. Boateng, like, he's a bit like Piqué at the other end. They're not like solid defenders anymore like they
they're
once
not.
were. They're definitely prone to a mistake or two.
Yeah.
So if Barca want to... Yeah, go on.
Suarez is still a top quality goal scorer. Whether he might have lost it a little bit to where he was maybe 2 seasons ago, the first season he joined, he still is the top player.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I'm not
agree.
saying he's better than Lewandowski, but like if you give Suarez a chance, more often than not, he will score it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like Suarez, he's not getting those chances anymore because he's not his movement's so much worse now. Like he's so like Tom said, sluggish is the perfect word to describe him right now. So I think right now, if you play Griezmann, who's dying to get minutes at the moment, like
And he needs to prove himself as well, I feel
exactly.
like.
So giving Griezmann a chance now against Bayern, for me, is like the perfect way for Barca to exploit Bayern and get Griezmann's confidence higher as well for the future.
So you think they should play him through the middle?
Yeah, and Ansu Fati on the left because he's got pace as well. He's improving.
But do you think they
game
will?
after game? I don't think it will happen, to be honest. I think Barca manager said, yeah, no.
I think they'll play Griezmann on the left.
Yeah, that's what I think.
And Suarez down the middle.
Yeah, I think Bayern will still be favourites just due to their attacking threats. I mean, playing 7 past Chelsea. I know Chelsea haven't had the grace, so they don't have a good defence just to play like that. But still, to put 7 against someone who's qualified for round of 16 is still impressive. But we'll move on to the game tomorrow. PSG Atlanta. PSG, I believe, still will be missing Mbappe, and Atlanta, I haven't heard any different, but Ilicic will be missing for that for personal reasons.
Oh, that's not their best player.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's the main goal scorer, got them through that Valencia tie as well. They've broken the record for most goals in the league campaign in Serie A. Muriel, Alejandro Gomez, and Zapata have all been good in those contributions, even though Ilicic is there as well. PSG, obviously, we've all talked about them, and they're on the league, and no Mbappe. How do you guys see it going?
Tom, you go first. I'll just be back in a second.
There you go.
PSG will win. I'll be very surprised they win. I watch Atlanta a lot, and they are such a good attacking team. But the thing is, this is another level. The problem with Atlanta is if you watch an Atlanta game, you can almost guarantee there's going to be goals because they outscore a lot of teams, but they're not good at their back and they attack. So they're so open. I can't see them changing up their style for PSG because that's what got them there in the first place. So they've got to stick to what they have. But the fact is that sticking with what they have in their attacking style is just going to play into PSG's hands. Even though PSG attack as well, they're not like a sit team, but they got more quality in defence and midfield that will control the game. And then, if anything, their attack is a lot better than theirs. And that's saying something because Atlanta have got a good attack. But I just think this is perfect for PSG because I just think Atlanta are going to be quite open, to be fair. And they haven't been to this point. I don't know how long. I don't know if they ever have been. I don't know the history of their club, but this will be a step too far for them. I can see just PSG being another level. And PSG, like I said with Griezmann, them as a whole team need to prove their worth because if they don't get to at least a semi-final, really they should be getting to the final. With the amount of money they put in with the club, they should be getting to the final. So I expect PSG to run through them, to be honest.
Yeah, like you said, Tommy, the history, I'm pretty sure it's Atlanta's first ever season in the Champions League.
Oh, really?
And I think they lost their first 3 games and they're the first team to qualify after losing their first 3 games. So like you said, it's about outscoring opponents for them, and they proved that in the last 16 against Valencia because they had a good first leg, and then Valencia, when they were at home, started to crawl back a bit and expose their defence, but again, they outscored them. Jack, do you think, like Tom was saying, it's perfectly playing to PSG's hands? Just if Atlanta go all out attack, basically, space for Neymar, space for Di Maria, Icardi. Do you think it's going to be a high scoring game, or PSG will just see it through?
I see it high scoring. I really do. I just think, I know they've done well to where they've come, Atlanta, and I know obviously they're not going there to not win. Obviously, they're going to go to win. I just think they're just going to have too much for them. I don't know if he will play, but Mbappe was included in the 23-man squad that they fought Atlanta. So I know their manager said, or someone said, he may not be ready, but he was included. So you never know, he might even be on the bench. Someone that could come on if they're winning to get minutes, if they're winning 3-4-0 already.
Yeah.
Well, you never know, they could be losing 1-0 and Atlanta holding on to the lead and he's still coming on. I just don't think that happening. I think on paper they're probably definitely the worst team left in the competition. not saying they're a bad team,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
so-called worst team in the competition. So I just feel PSG will have too much for them.
Yeah, it's another level. Even if they go 1-0 up, you watch them and they'll play. They just attack. That they won't change their style. They won't, just because they're playing against PSG. They won't change their style. They won't go defensive. And I can't even see them going defensive anyway against PSG, because that's just going to apply unwanted pressure to a team that can't defend. So they might as well just go for it and hope for their luck. I just can't see them winning, because PSG will just pick them apart, I think.
For me, 100% see them scoring though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do see them scoring 100%.
yeah,
so
they probably
just whether
do.
they can PSG outscore them.
I mean, sorry. Say if Atlanta do shock PSG, Tommy's saying like they need to improve themselves, because they spent like 200 million on Mbappe,
Yeah.
similar on Neymar. Icardi's being bought permanently now. If they don't win it, I mean, one, do you think they can keep their players? And two, what do you think it will just do for them as a club in general?
Well, the thing is, right, the problem we got with these two, you're obviously referring to Mbappe and Neymar. The problem you got, right, is in any normal circumstance, they will not be able to keep it. But the only way that they do keep it is just because they're going to cost too much money for other clubs to come in for them. That's the only factor that plays for PSG. Like, I think Mbappe will probably go to Barcelona or Real Madrid, but then I think, how are they going to do it? Because they're going to have to cough up so much money, and are they going to be willing to do that? Like, so it's a hard one. In a normal circumstance, yeah, I would expect so, because let's face it, they win the league every year. They've already got that under their belt. They've done it. They've accomplished it early, especially Mbappe, early in his career, got that done. He's probably going to want to move on, and if he's got to win the Champions League. He's going to be, once Messi and Ronaldo retire, that is going to be the best player in the world, most likely. He's going to have to play out. PSG is a big club, but they are not, on a European scale, they are not living up to it, to be honest, with what they've
But you're
got.
forgetting he still is only 21. I know he's
Exactly,
won
and
the
that
League
shows how
One,
good
World
he
Cup.
is.
Yeah,
Shows how good he is.
maybe he doesn't have to move right now to go and win the
No, he
Champions League. You know what I'm
doesn't.
saying?
But is that going to be in his head? Because he could, if he wanted to, he could play for Real Madrid easy. He'll get
Yeah, but
Yeah.
do you think he thinks that the League
any
One's too
lineup.
easy?
I have no
I
idea,
think
but
everyone
he
knows that
should.
league's too easy.
I think
Come
he
on.
Yeah, but
should
do you think
do.
the players know that? Because
Yes.
obviously they do, but do you think they think it? Do you think they score and go, why am I even playing?
Yes.
This is easy.
Probably once with Mbappe, what? How many years he been there now? Is this his third or second?
No, it was at
Third.
Monaco, but at PSG he was
I think it's third now.
third, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's won the league 3 times. Did he win it in Monaco?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's won it 4 times. What's he got to achieve there? Like, he's 21. He's won it 4 times. He's gonna want to go. It's
Yeah.
just, is he gonna be
It's like-
able to?
I feel like it's PSG's best opportunity as well with these one-legged ties. They're on the easier side of the draw as well, if we're going to call it that. I'm pretty sure they are. I feel like it's now or never for them. But we'll move on to Man City vs Leon. I think you could say they were both underdogs in the round of 16 tie. Both came through for different performances. We'll start with the City one. Rafa Varane's very highly rated defender. 2 key mistakes, which essentially knocked out Real Madrid, I think you'd say. Don't get me wrong, City put on a great performance. De Bruyne, again, proved why he's one of the best in the league, best in the world. Leon, they knocked out Juve. It was a bit of a weird performance because the ref almost took like the spotlight and out some poor decisions. Ronaldo almost did what he does best and just takes his team through, but Leon held on. Depay scored in every single Champions League game this season. How do you guys see it going then? Is it easy for City?
No, it won't be easy.
But they will win.
Again, yeah, it goes back to not as bad because I don't think Leon's as good as either of them, but the Barca-Bayern game, I think one team will win, but it's still going to be a mix-up. I think Leon just have the players that will express themselves. I don't think they'll be scared. I think City will be in the head like every year we bottle this.
Yeah,
That will just be, that's a mental thing. Until you overcome that, they will always be there. So maybe this is the year City overcome this, but it will also be in his head. But yeah, just going back to the game, I do think City will win.
Yeah, he has to get to a semi-final with Man City. I don't think he hasn't done it yet. I mean, we knocked him out in the quarter-final last year. I think they got knocked down around the 16 the other year,
Yeah.
I believe. Like, if Man City had a good defence, they would piss through this tie with ease. But the fact is they don't, and they are so open at the back. They make a lot of mistakes at the back, and they commit a lot.
But who would you say have a better attack, Real Madrid or Lyon?
Well, Real Madrid, obviously.
Yeah, and they didn't cause them that many problems.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Can Fernand, okay, well, Laporte, I think he's one of the best defenders in the league when he's fit, obviously. So I think he's like fine for them. But for me, it's how consistent can Fernandinho be next to him? Because Eric Garcia won't play anymore because he said he wants to leave. So it's going to be Fernandinho. I think Stones, he's not finished, but
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
Pep's realised he's not the one.
His Man City career's finished.
So for me, can Fernandinho stay consistently next to Laporte? Because I don't think he can.
Exactly. Well, to be honest, you shouldn't expect him to because he's a centre defensive mid and he was one of the best centre defensive mids. And I get they've got Rodri, but when they don't play Rodri, they play Gundogan there, and I don't see why. I don't know why he's playing Fernandinho there. He clearly don't. He must show that he's got a problem with Otamendi or something like that. Because when Man City won the league quite a couple of years ago, Otamendi was he was a good player for him one of the seasons. So he must really not like him, or something must happen for a centre defensive mid who don't look great in centre back to play. But I do see City. I'm surprised Lyon even got. Like, they shouldn't have been Juventus. Juventus is another PSG. It's just they're literally identical. They might have a little bit harder of a league, Juventus, but they win it every year. And when it comes to Europe, they do nothing. I mean, they got to a final against Barcelona a couple of seasons back, but I don't know. They're like PSG a lot, so I'm surprised Lyon even got there. So I'll be very surprised if Man City. They got to get to the semis. There's pressure on Pep. He's got to get to at least the semi-final.
Talk about this pressure. Juve, obviously, there was a bit of pressure on them because they haven't won Champions League in a while. They were giving Ronaldo just to he's basically signed to win them the Champions League. And obviously that pressure they weren't happy with. Got rid of Sarri, got an Andrea Pirlo now. It's going to be interesting how that works out. But is that similar pressure on Man City and Pep Guardiola doing it? Or do you think getting to the semis or the finals is enough for them as a club?
No. The man, I know he can't play, but they've just bought another defender in Ake. The amount of money, obviously you want to build your team, so you're gonna spend money. I'll accept that, but just keep. This is what he's been there. Third season, fourth,
fifth now. Yeah.
Fourth, yeah. He needs to be winning, at least getting to a final.
Yeah, he hasn't got to a semi-final with them. No. That's a semi-final. They got knocked out by us, of all teams. Like, that's not good enough.
Yeah, go
on.
But City, I think they could win this whole tournament. The way they just, I know Tom said earlier that.
I think that every year, don't we? It's pointless thinking that now. In my head, it's pointless thinking that because I can't see it now.
What Tom said with Bayern, I totally agree with. They're like probably right now like the best team like in possession and ball feet. But City they're just a joy. They're so good to watch. Some of their patterns of playing, the way they literally like they're playing by themselves. There's no one around them. They take a touch when there's two people behind them, and they just turn. And that's why I just think if City have the ball, they can cause anyone problems. It's just when they don't have the ball. That's a worry.
They ain't got Aguero as well, so that's quite a big factor. Even though he's getting on, he's the. I know they got Jesus. He's a decent player, but when you're at this level, you want Aguero, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I've only got 10 minutes left, so we'll get through it. The last tie, Leipzig Atletico. I feel like everyone's almost forgot about these two because their ties were done before the lockdown started. Leipzig knocked out Spurs. Atletico shocked Liverpool, really. Tom, well, I'm sure you, unlike Leipzig, the best. They don't have Werner anymore, of course. So how do
Yeah,
you see
even
it
if
going?
even if they did, I don't see them beating Atletico. I think if someone said to me who would be like the one to watch out, like under the radar in this competition, it would be Atletico, because they're you'd think out of all the teams, yeah, the big names, PSG, all the attacking teams, you want to avoid them, but I wouldn't necessarily want to get Atletico. They're probably the best set up team in Europe. They're really awkward to play against, especially with these. Normally you get big attacking teams. I think all the other teams in the competition are attacking teams, where these are just more set up and counter. And yeah, Leipzig are losing Werner, and even if they did have him, I can't see them being Atletico. They've got a lot of experience, and I'd expect them to beat them.
I actually disagree with Tom. I think if they had Werner, I think they would have won.
No,
I think
don't know.
I think Atletico Madrid are Simeone has them drilled to a T. I think they're so good defensively, but I just think the way Leipzig were playing, the way they played against Tottenham.
Yeah,
I know Tottenham haven't been great this season, but
fuck me, we struggled against Burnley. Like,
you can still only play what's in front of
did
you.
that
The
in
way they
Atletico?
even how they were playing, they were just very good. But now they don't have Werner. Now I can't see them winning at all.
Yeah, I think the Werner deal, it's kind of a bad time for Leipzig as well, because obviously they would have thought for the whole Champions League they would have had him, but obviously what's gone on.
Yeah, but I don't
Chelsea have
understand
taken
it
him.
though. Why didn't they keep him? Like not
wanted to
keep
go.
him. Yeah, he
I
might
think he
have
just
wanted.
wanted to go.
Couldn't they have done like a deal where they sell him, but he plays this competition for
You
them?
still want to play with him.
Yeah, I think he was just done with them.
Because
You
like
can sort of see that with
Havertz
Havertz yesterday as well.
Yeah.
But well, we'll move on from Champions League then. I think next week we'll have the semi-finals ready, and I'm not sure about Europa, might be done. But gone to some transfer news now. So Tom, we'll go to you because there's been some stuff at Tottenham. So you've signed Højbjerg, and there's been like a swap deal basically with Kyle Walker-Peters going to Southampton. And this Højbjerg deal has almost triggered like a Ndombele move to Inter Milan, I believe. If I'm correct,
No.
yeah. So
An Ndombele deal now.
yeah, that's what's been talked about now. I think he's the one on the way out. But what's your
see us selling
thing
him.
on? Well, maybe it might be a loan, but what's your just overview on the Højbjerg Kyle Walker-Peters deal?
Oh, I think that's a brilliant deal. I think I've seen a lot of Southampton fans saying we got the better end. And mate, you just got levied. Literally. Levy's a good chairman when it comes to these signings that are in his favour, like a player out of contract. He will rob you. We literally just gave them Walker-Peters, who had no chance of getting into our team. We've given him a chance in the past. He's not good enough, right? And we've just taken their captain, right? He might not be like a big name like an Ndombele when we signed Ndombele, but it feels like this is something we've needed for ages. We ain't had a holding midfield down. We need leaders. He was their captain. He won't be our captain, but he'll still be a leader.
Yeah.
And we basically just signed him for 3 million. And I think that's a bargain.
Yeah, and when you talk about it, that Ndombele hype, I mean, I think people forget Højbjerg was at Bayern Munich. He came through Bayern Munich, so
yeah, exactly.
He's clearly got some quality behind him as well.
Yeah.
And then Jack and Man United, the deal we're all waiting for to happen. Jadon Sancho, Man United have been a bit quiet about it because obviously you've handed it over to like a third party to deal with rather than you guys doing it. Dortmund, I think CEO came and said he's staying.
Yeah.
Hummel said he's staying. Witzel said he's staying. The Twitter page said he's staying. And do you think he's staying at Dortmund?
I mean, my head says no, but my gut, now that come out, I know he said that again about Bamiyang. He said that about Ousmane Dembele. Barcelona and Arsenal paid the money, then they went. But this deal, I don't know, just something, because it's my club, I just don't think. My head says yes, but my gut says it won't happen. But very obviously tier 1 reliable journalists are still saying we haven't given up. we still want to sign him, and we're still looking to sign him in the next coming weeks. And we've literally agreed a deal with him. Like, it's a 5-year contract, personal terms, image rights, everything's completed. It's literally just a fee. And also, we've agreed with Dortmund about 120 million. However, it's what they want in the initial fee.
Yeah.
We wanted to pay 70 million this year, 30 million next year, and 20 million the year after. But now that was like basically like put into place. But now they want more. And Man United have been like, hold on, we literally agreed on this. We've had COVID. Then he also came out and said we secretly added a year extra to Jadon Sancho's contract and boosted his wages. However, they say secretly, it was all reported in BBC. They're acting like Man United wouldn't have known that.
Yeah, they've obviously done a trigger extension, haven't they?
Yeah, but
do you know what? When I heard that,
I'm not sure now.
When I heard that, what was it? Their chairman came out and said he expects him in the team next year.
Yeah, I
straight away thought that is a typical attempt or a method to just get more money out of the deal.
Yeah.
I wasn't like one of these people saying or thinking, oh, he's not going now. I just think that is a way of saying, if you really want him, give me more money. Because we don't mind, they obviously don't mind keeping him. They're just trying to get as much money out of him as possible.
Yeah. He wants to come. It's just people are saying, sorry, Joel, cut you off. But people are saying he wants to come, but really the only way, unless we pay the money, that's going to go like carry on. If he if he hands in a transfer request, not go on strike, but if he says to them, look, reach an agreement, I want to go, like, please let me go, kind of thing. But he's too nice to do that, so we'll have to wait and see what happens in the next weeks.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Dortmund had this history of making players look bad when they leave. Happened with Dembele, happened a bit with Aubameyang, had a bit of spat with the CEO. Now almost like they're forcing Sancho out, sorry. So maybe we'll have a bit more development on it next week. But I think it will be very exciting for the Premier if he did join. Now, I mean, talk about City there a bit about Ake, 40 million for Ake, deal done. Ferran Torres to join the club as well for, I think, 25 or 30 mil. It's another young central club. David Silva's, I believe, confirmed onto Lazio now.
Lazio, yeah.
So, going to Serie A. I didn't think he'd go to another major European league, to be honest. But
no, neither did I.
Yeah, especially Lazio, not one you'd expect. So that'll be interesting. And Blaise Matuidi is off to Inter Miami. Yeah.
I'd expect that.
Another surprise one. Don't really see him leaving.
No, you know what? I didn't expect him to leave. It was a shock when I saw it, but then thinking about it, he's old. They got a lot of central midfielders, and I was thinking, why would he go to Inter Miami? And obviously, I realised he had a good relationship with Beckham when Beckham played at PSG with him. So he's obviously going there because of Becks.
Yeah. So I think that is all for this week. We'll have more transfers, more in European football, probably some more news as well. Yeah, and that's it for this week. Have a nice.
I think it's time to talk. I think it's time we sit down and just say what's going on. I think we should